A new opportunity and a good start opportunity here for the Bobcats in order to be able to get, hopefully, to the conference championship game here by the end of the season. And this is where you have to start. You have to start here, and you got to look at this as a 0-0 record going forward here, heading into these next couple of games.
Yeah, we talk about teams needing to play well, Dylan, when it's time to play well, and it's definitely a case for the Bobcats. Like you said, coming in with only one win, but they really could change the tail of their season if they can get going with a win here tonight in their first conference game. As you said, it's a tale of really two seasons. You play the fall season schedule and there's no conference games, but now if you can get hot and pick up some wins in the conference, you might wind up at the end of the season without a good overall record, but really in contention to do something in the postseason.
Let's take a look at this Blue Wave team heading into this game, Bob. 13-5, 9-1 at home. They're 2-4, however, on the road. So this team has not been the strongest on the road. However, they do got a strong player, and it's somebody that the Bobcats are going to have to keep an eye on, and that is Terrence Ginyard, the 21.9 averaging score for this Blue Wave team. And again, you don't also obviously want to completely have your focus on him, but he's definitely going to be a guy that the Bobcats are definitely going to have to defend and really keep off the boards here tonight, especially for how big of a scoring threat he has been for this Blue Wave squad.
Yeah, Dylan, we should be in store for a good game tonight, and I think for the Bobcats, it's really important they get off to a good start. Last week against Rad Sports Academy, they just did not get off to a good start, and you could see their confidence really went down after that. So important for the Bobcats to get off to a strong start tonight.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the starting five for the Bobcats heading into tonight's game. Xavier Gordon-Summers will start for the Bobcats. Tyson Maxim, Timothy King will also get the start. Nicholas Poulat and Chris Foreman will all get the start. Poulat, Summers, and Maxim are the top three scorers for the Bobcats heading into tonight's game between them and the Blue Wave. This is, I believe, the second season, if I'm not mistaken, that the Blue Wave have been in, or maybe this might be the first season, actually, Bob. If I'm not mistaken, the Blue Wave have been in this conference. This is their first officially conference game in this brand new D2 conference that they're going to be competing in this year. Obviously, they were in D1 last year. Similar to the baseball program, they also went down to D2, so they will be getting ready for their first conference game of this kind of new era of this team here heading into the 2024 slate here for the spring.
Yeah, a lot of shifting, as you know, Dylan, in the state among all sports from D1 to D2, and great opportunity, obviously, with the state colleges recruiting more locally. With the Division II, the biggest difference is no room and board scholarships, just tuition and books and supplies.
So we're waiting for Florida State College of Jacksonville to have their starting five go out on the floor, and we'll get going here from Pasco-Hernando State College. Bob, the first, my first broadcast, if you will, of 2024. So excited to hopefully get things started here in the 2024 year. Hopefully everyone has had a great start to the school year. Taking a look at the starters for the FSCJ Blue Wave. Number 2, Raheem Taplin will be out on the floor. Number 1, Terrence Ginyard will also be out on the floor, followed by number 32, Roderick Gardner. Number 5, Alex McCrae will also be out there on the floor for the starting five for the Blue Wave, and also number 24, Aiden Fletcher, will be in the starting five for tonight's game. So the Blue Wave will win the tip-off, and we are underway here from Pasco-Hernando State College on a Wednesday evening. Thanks so much for tuning in with us here for tonight's game between the Blue Wave and Bobcats. Three-point shot, and that's good. And early on, 3 points for the Blue Wave, and they get the scoring going early here by McCrae. Great passing there by the Blue Wave, Bob, and again, you don't want to give the momentum early on to the Blue Wave. We know how dominant this team can be. McCrae handling it, trying to find an open player to pass it to. They do into the post. A lot of great ball movement here by the Blue Wave. Shot from 3 off the backboard, no good. The the extra opportunity there for the Blue Wave doesn't go for, however, a foul will give the PHSC Bobcats, I believe.
I think it's Blue Wave basketball.
Yeah, it's going to be Blue Wave basketball.
Reset the shot clock.
I thought it was Blue Wave basketball there, Bob. It was kind of interesting. One of the Bobcat players was standing in to almost pass it in, almost like it was a turnover there. So the Blue Wave will keep possession. Well, thought that went out of bounds there for a second there, Bob. Shot off by Ginyard, and that's going to be no good. Blue Wave able to keep possession, however, and just like that, the second chance effort goes for Raheem Taplin.
Yeah, that was a fourth chance effort, Dylan.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do a better job on the boards here.
This is a team that does bring a lot of size, Bob, looking at their roster, a lot of 6-foot players. There's only 2 players on this entire FSCJ roster that are under 6 feet, so definitely size will play a big factor here in tonight's game.
Turnover there by the Bobcats still, and they're going to have to be sharper on their passes.
And that's going to be a blocking foul. That's going to be number 32 for the Bobcats. It's going to be Chris Foreman on charge with the foul, and the Blue Wave will head to the line to shoot for 2. Raheem Taplin is the one who got charged with the foul there, or excuse me, who.
Blue Wave up 6-0 early here, Dylan.
And shot is good. So Taplin extends the lead out here to 7 for the Blue Wave. Bobcats looking to try to get their first points on the board. 7-0 is your score here early. Shot off from deep range.
Yes.
That's good. And just like that, the Bobcats are within 4 on the 3-point ball from TJ King.
Good shot there. Bobcats needed that from TJ King.
Another 3-ball opportunity, no go there. Bobcats regain possession on their 3 shot from Ginyard. Great passing here by the Bobcats, trying to find something here offensively. Bobcats will retain possession here. Tyson Maxim will be the one to pass it in. Maxim from 3, wide open for 3.
Nice.
That's good. And just like that, the Bobcats are right back into it. It's now 7-6 Blue Wave.
2 big baskets there for the Bobcats. Important for them to get off hot tonight, Dylan.
Absolutely. And Bob, that's one of the big things about basketball is you can easily get back into a game just like that, and the Bobcats are able to get away from that 0-point run that they were having. They did not score a single basket through the first 2 minutes. Very physical shot there. Second shot effort there does not go in, but a foul will be called.
Hopefully those long-range 3-pointers will clear up some of the passing lanes too, Dylan, underneath the basket, as I'm sure the Blue Wave will start contesting those shots.
Chris Foreman charged with a second foul here already. Shot is up, that's good. Taplin will be at the line here to shoot an extra basket here, as this is his second opportunity at the line. And the second chance effort does not go. So 1 for 2 there on the free throws for Taplin. 3 for 4 overall here in tonight's game. Great block there by the Blue Wave. Hard to see who made that block there from our angle. Passes it inbounds, trying to maybe get a shot up at the post. 3-ball again, that's gonna go off the rim, and the Bobcats will recover. Shot from King. 3-ball that bobbles around the rim. Another opportunity, however, and a great job, a great second chance effort there by Xavier Gordon-Summers off the rebound. And the Bobcats now tied things up at 8.
Good job by the Bobcats getting back in this game.
Blue Wave slowing the pace down a little, trying to get something cooking here. Shot in under the rim, that will go out of bounds, and I believe the Bobcats will have possession here. So PHSC will regain possession on the turnover from the Blue Wave. Some changes in here for the Blue Wave. Jordan Smith checked into the game, and also number 12 as well. Quol Reach, the Australian, coming into the game here for the Blue Wave. What a shot there. by Tyson Maxim, a 3-ball, and just like that, the Bobcats now up by 3.
Maxim off to a hot start, two for 2 from the 3-point range.
Maxim has been pretty solid from 3-point range this season, 38.2% from 3-point range. Averaging 12.3 points per game this season. That goes out of bounds, so some miscommunication there on the pass. Gary Anderson will check into the game now for the Blue Wave, and the Bobcats will regain possession as they look to try to make this a 2-possession game here with this incoming possession. Maxim manning the center, passes it, great dish out. What a pass. What a great job there by Nicholas Poulat. Able to get around and make a play. What a great job there by Poulat there, Bob, using his size and just kind of a little bit of agility there as well on that play.
No hesitation at all. Took it 100% to the basket, and it paid off.
Shot is up, no good. Bobcats regain possession. You see Ginyard, Bob, really getting a lot of the possession, or a lot of the shot opportunities here for the Blue Wave. Obviously mentioning he's averaged 21.9 points per game, so he's definitely a guy that this Bobcats team would like to hold off early to hope to try to maybe pass it out to some of their other players and maybe get them to try to shoot.
Well, that's your go-to guy. There's no secret about it.
No,
I
absolutely.
mean, you can look at the stats and see where the ball goes.
McCray, one-on-one guarded. Passes, it almost could have been trouble there. Smith dishes it out back to McCray. McCray from free, wide open 3-ball, and he makes it easy money there for McCray. And just like that, 13-11 now, 2-point lead for the Bobcats. Bobcats have done a good job in getting back into this thing as they hold the lead right now. And the Blue Wave will regain on the almost out-of-bounds pass there by the Bobcats. Jordan Smith. Smith from 3. That is from the corner, but no good.
Good job there by Poulat on the board.
Bobcats will try to work down the court here. Maxim. Phillips. And the foul would be called on the Blue Wave. So 2 shots here for PHSC.
Kind of like the way the Bobcats have come out and been aggressive, Dylan.
Trent Phillips will be heading to the line after this media timeout. Bob, this is our timeout, if you will. We have our own personal timeout here for the media.
So we saw the Blue Wave get out to an early lead. I think it was 8-0, and then the Bobcats have been on a, a 13-3 run here.
Yeah, it's been an impressive run here, Bob. You got to give credit to the Bobcats here. I mean, they've really been pressing a lot more here. They've kind of gotten a little bit more comfortable, I feel like, as well. I think once you get that first shot off, especially when it's a 3-ball like that, I think it does bring a little bit more comfort and you get more settled in, especially in a game like tonight where it is a big conference game. Both teams really could use a conference win to kick off, conference play, and this is definitely a momentum booster heading into the rest of the season going forward.
Yeah, especially for the Bobcats. We mentioned the need to get off to a good early start, and I think they have. They've hit, like you said, Dylan, I think they've hit 3 3-pointers early in this game, so I think they're feeling pretty good about their shooting, and they've made some stops at the other end.
And one thing, too, that the Bobcats do, Bob, is, again, they dish the ball out to the hot hand. That's one thing that we even have seen in prior years as well, and it's nothing short of this year as well. I mean, you have 3 guys who are currently double-digit scorers on this team, so they feel comfortable getting it out to different players and relying on the hot hand when they need to. So that's definitely a big factor as well heading into games like tonight where, you're playing against kind of a different style team, if you will.
Big question now will be, can they sustain it, right?
Absolutely. First shot from Phillips is going to hit off the backboard and goes in, so it's now a 3-point Bobcats lead, chance to make it a 2-possession lead for PHSC. Phillips on the second shot, money. Great shot there by Phillips, and the Blue Wave now trying to get back into the swing of things. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, things not going in the favor of the Blue Wave. And a shot from 3 is good. Ginyard able to kind of regroup everything after what was looking not to be a great possession there for the Blue Wave. Things were looking like troublesome there.
Looked like a pinball machine is what it looked like.
Ball was going everywhere there. PHSC now up by 1. Blue Wave have gotten back within 1.
Nice
shot is
shot.
off. What a beautiful shot by Maxim from mid-range.
Maxim's feeling good, Dylan.
And that's why he is the leading scorer. Wide open shot from 3 off the backboard, no good. Ball will go out of bounds. PHSC will regain possession.
13:08 left, first half, 17-14 Bobcats.
For the Blue Wave, Abraham Garrod checked into the game as well for the Blue Wave. As the Bobcats now have possession again, 17-14. Here with over 10 minutes to play, or over 12 minutes to play, I should say. Shot was off there, no good. Blue Wave now have possession again. Ginyard again from 3, no good, and that's gonna go out of bounds, and it will be Bobcats possession.
I'd like to see the Bobcats slow it down a little bit here, Dylan, get a really good shot.
I think one thing, Bob, that the Blue Wave have been trying to do is really trying to get that game going from the outside part of the court, if you will, in terms of from three-point land, and just seems like
nice move.
Seems like they haven't been able to do that here in some of these possessions. That was a great shot there by the Bobcats. 19-14 now your score. PHSC has been controlling here since about that 16-minute marker in this game.
Like to see that out of Gordon Summers. He worked his way down low underneath the basket and got himself a nice bucket there.
Blue Wave trying to push towards the rim there, but not able to. They have to regroup. Ginyard going up to the rim. What a great shot there by Ginyard on the layup. Very physical play there, but he was able to make it, and just like that, it's now again a 3-point Bobcat lead. The Blue Wave are still pressuring here, Bob, but the Bobcats have done a good job. They've kept at least it to be a 2-possession lead. It feels like they've at least been able to respond in every time that the Blue Wave have scored. Shot off, that is no good, and the Blue Wave now regain. Reach there was on the rebound. Garrod. Ginyard again from 3, no good. Rebounded. Physical play under the basket. That will be a foul. Reach-in foul there called on the Bobcats. That's going to be on number 20, Trent Phillips, called on the foul.
I think if there's one thing you got to worry about a little bit here, Dylan, for the Bobcats is they're giving the Blue Wave a lot of opportunities on the offensive board. They've gotten Blue Wave have gotten a lot of offensive rebounds so far.
Darius Miles checked into the game for the Bobcats. A bit of a different group here for the Blue Wave. 3 new players now checked into the court. We'll try to get the numbers and names for you here in just a quick second. As I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I saw Roderick Gardner checked into the game. Abraham Garrod was already in the game. Try to take a look at Gary Anderson had checked into the game, and also number 24, Aiden Fletcher, checked back into the game as well. .10:46 left to play, 19-18 your score. It's been back and forth between the Blue Wave and the Bobcats. Neither team really has had the upper edge here so far. And that shot's good, and the Blue Wave regain their lead. So after a good run here by the Bobcats, now the Blue Wave are back in control once again. Maxim dishes it out to Miles. Miles over to Thompson. Nice. Thompson from 3, that's good. And the Bobcats have been cooking from long range here tonight. Another 3-point shot that is in. And now the Blue Wave down by 2, excuse me.
Hey, relax. Diagonal, get flat. You're setting. Go. Speed.
A lot of communication between the coaches and the players here, Bob, we have on the sideline.
Yeah, we're up close to all that communication.
Long pass across the court. And that's going to go out of bounds. Bobcats regain possession here.
Are you kidding me? We're going to let him. That's crazy.
Miles passes into Maxim. Shot from TJ King.
Nice,
oh, money
TJ.
3.
That's his second, Dylan.
Bob, it seemed like they caught the Blue Wave off guard there on that shot. I mean,
yeah,
that was.
I agree.
It seemed like the Blue Wave were not prepared for that shot to go in, and that was a great job by the Bobcats taking advantage.
Well, when they've got an open look, they've hit the shots, Dylan.
Absolutely. Blue Wave trying to pass things around here. Taplin able to make it in, and that's good. 25-22 here with under 10 to play. Maxim, what a dish there to Poulat. That almost had a shot to be a potential scoring chance there for the Bobcats, but was not able to take control. Maxim.
Oh, lost it.
Lost control. That's going to be a foul.
Good job by Poulat. He established his ground there underneath the basket and picks up the charge.
Yeah, that's a huge charging foul there, Bob. Again, kind of stunts the momentum a little bit here. Again, the Blue Wave were trying to get back in the swing of things here offensively, and it seems like the Bobcats have just been able to respond. They've done a good job defensively. They've been physical, and I think that's what we like to see here in this game against, again, a team that is a good scoring team.
Yeah, that charge foul is good momentum shift. Let's see if the Bobcats can take advantage.
Bob, the Bobcats have let teams score 85.1 points on average this season, so definitely good to get the defensive system working here a little bit for the Bobcats. Rebounded by number 32 there, Gardner, and he's able to make the play on it, and just like that, back to a 1-point deficit here for the Blue Wave.
Yeah, Bobcats again getting beat on the offensive boards there.
The one thing the Blue Wave have been doing really good at, Bob, is, again, keeping...
Nice move.
Great shot there by...
A lot of contact down there, and Gordon Summers able to make the basket.
Yeah, what a shot there by Summers. Passes it over. McCray from three, Money from three, wide open shot, and just like that, a timeout called by the Bobcats. So the first timeout goes to PHSC and Nick O'Neill's squad, as we'll talk things over here in this timeout.
I tell you, Dylan, it's getting a little chippy down there on the court.
It is, and again, I think these teams, they knew heading into this game, they knew that this game was very meaningful for both squads. Again, at this point, it doesn't matter what the record has shown the past couple of months. It now matters about if you can win these conference games, and both teams know that. So you really had to come into this game, prepared and ready to go, and it looks like both teams have definitely brought their A game tonight.
Yeah, both teams trying to establish something, in terms of being aggressive.
Absolutely.
Neither team backing down. It's been a good game. I think if you're the Bobcats, you're happy with your outside shooting. I think you got to be a little concerned about the offensive rebounds, giving the Blue Wave a lot of chances down there.
Absolutely, and again, I think defensively they've done a good job. They've been, I feel like, the more calmer team defensively, if you will. There's a lot of different things that both teams have really brought to the table. I think it's been a kind of almost an even matchup, and that's obviously what the score shows, 27-27 right now as we head out of the timeout. PHSC looking to try to maybe establish some sort of lead here. Really, neither team has had any lead of any sorts. I mean, they have had a lead, but it's been very minor, if you will. The largest lead has been about 7, and that was earlier on in the game when the Blue Wave were out to that early run. Great passing here by the Blue Wave, trying to get back offensively going here. Gardner tries pushing in, the foul called. And that's going to bring Gardner up to the line to shoot. The foul's going to be called on number 1, Xavier Gordon Summers on the foul. First shot by Gardner off the back of the rim. That's going to be no good, and now we'll bring out some subs. We'll see Trent Phillips checking into the game, and also number 24, Nicholas Poulat, checks back into the game as well for Darius Miles and for Chris Foreman. Again, tie game here we have for you from Newport Richey. It's been a great game tonight. Really, again, even matchup so far between the Bobcats and the Blue Wave.
Yeah, a lot of good action so far, Dylan.
Absolutely. Great way to start out the 2024 broadcasting season for us here from PHSC. King dishes it out to Summers. Summers over to Maxim. Maxim trying to get something here. Not able to make any room for himself.
5 on the shot clock. Gotta get it off.
Traveling, and I think what Phillips was trying to do there, Bob, is maybe try to draw a foul, and unfortunately it didn't work out that way, a traveling call. But I see what Phillips was trying to do there, and I give him credit for trying to do something a little bit different, as I believe there is a media timeout, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, either draw a foul or get a shot off, trying to get an open look, because the shot clock, I think, was under 5 when he was starting to move.
Yeah, I think that was your best shot there, Bob. Either, again, try to draw the foul, or if potentially if you lose the ball, maybe you have one of your players grab it at least, and it will at least reset the clock a little bit. So, there definitely was not really much of an option there that you could have done for the Bobcats. So I give credit to Phillips for making that play. But 28-27 is your score. The Blue Wave up by 1, and really, again, neither team has really had the upper hand here. It's kind of been back and forth. The Blue Wave have been able to respond what the Bobcats have been able to give, and same thing goes for the PHSC. It's really been a back and forth battle between both squads, and again, neither team has really gave them an inch. It's really been a close game altogether.
Yeah, hopefully, Dylan, we continue this way and we have a great ball game tonight.
Absolutely.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We might have some fans of both sides. Always good to have the visiting team as well as, of course, our home Bobcat fans tuning in for the broadcast.
I was going to say we had an alarm go off right as the buzzer went off. I don't know, maybe we might have a alarm buzzer, if you will. So the Bobcats and the Blue Wave will head back out onto the floor. As again, the Blue Wave hold the 1-point advantage here with a little over 5 minutes to play. Also, Bob, over in attendance as well tonight. We got Larry Bem in attendance, former Bobcat head coach. And Ginyard from 3, that's good. So now the Blue Wave take a 4-point lead.
Always good to see our former coach, Larry Bem, and got some of our volleyball players up there watching the game.
Shot from mid-range, that's good from Darius Miles.
Good answer there. Bobcats down by 2.
Yeah, you definitely need an answer there, especially being a 3-ball there, and it gave the Blue Wave a 4-point advantage. Smith tries to drive in on the path to the pass, and that's going to be good. So now 29-33, your score. TJ King, Poulat. Miles now has it. Miles over to Phillips. Phillips over to Maxim. Everybody getting their fair share of possession. Phillips gets the shot off, nothing go there, heavily contested. Shot again by King, though, on the second chance effort off the rebound. No good. Blue Wave now trying to go fast-paced here and up-tempo, but not able to get anything there. But the foul called gives the Blue Wave a chance to keep possession here offensively.
Yeah, 4-point lead here for the Blue Wave. They're on a little bit of a run.
The one thing that the Bobcats have done a good job at, Bob, is 20 in the call with the Phillips is going to be called with the foul there, his second, excuse me. One thing the Blue Wave just haven't been able to do is get their tempo up to the level I think they want to. Again, we've seen them go very quick on some of these possessions, but the Bobcats seem to be there right in the nick of time to be able to kind of defend their fast-paced style of play.
See if this pace can continue, Dylan. We got 5:18 left, first half.
Yeah, I think Bob, that last minute of this first half, I think is going to be really, really interesting to see kind of what the pace is going to look like, and the urgency, if you will, from some of these teams, trying to get that upper hand heading into the half. Foul's going to be called on number 3, Jordan Smith.
I think that was before the shot.
Yeah, it was before the shot.
Not a shooting foul here.
So Maxim will make an inbound pass here, forthcoming. Maxim just airs it out. TJ King able to make the play and able to recover, but Maxim just threw that like a football almost over to the other side of the floor. Blue Wave will recover here on the block, and that's going to go out of bounds, and the Blue Wave will keep possession on the tip ball from Darius Miles. Not really sure, Bob, where that pass was going to. The only thing I could think of is, again, there really wasn't much real estate there to pass it in, so just try to get it over the entirety of the floor and hope that somebody makes a play on it. That shot's off and no good by McCray. Smith will rebound. Three-point shot from Ginyard, and that's going to be off again. Another opportunity here for the Blue Wave. They've been good at these, and they do make it. So number 32 there, Gardner, able to make the play. And that is going to be, not sure what the referee had responded there. Nevertheless, it's an 8-point Blue Wave lead, and just as the Bobcats were in this game here, Bob, now the lead is suddenly expanding here for the Blue Wave already.
Yeah, Bobcats in need of a basket here, Dylan. Blue Wave on a big run. I think it's been a 10-point run for the Blue Wave here.
Yeah, I think if you're the Bobcats here, Bob, you kind of want to get a three. Well, that will work too.
Nice.
Pilot on the great pass there from Maxim on the assist. And that puts us here at a 31-37 game in the first half. Little over 4 minutes to play here from Pasco-Hernando State College in the in the opener, if you will, of conference play for both squads. McCray from long range, shot is no good. Rebounded there again by the Blue Wave. That shot's good. Smith from three, and now it is a 9-point game, the largest lead that the Blue Wave have held, this entire game.
Too many offensive opportunities for the Blue Wave. Bobcats going to have to do a better job on that board.
Yeah, too many second chance efforts, Bob. Again,
nice shot.
Great shot by Phillips. Huge three-pointer there, and now that brings them within 6.
Good basket there by Phillips. Bobcats needed that.
And that's, I was going to say, Bob, earlier, is that the Bobcats really could use something that they had earlier in the game when they were down by 7, and it was 7-0, is really a couple of three-point shots. I know it's easier said than done, but really felt like that got the momentum rolling, and this team has been very good from outside the arc, so it'd definitely be important to maybe get some of these three-point shots again and maybe get some of that momentum flowing again.
Yeah, as long as they have good looks, Dylan. They were getting good looks for those three-pointers. Can't force them up.
No, absolutely.
But I agree with you. If you get a good look, just go ahead and knock it down.
And again, defensively, you just want to be able to keep the Blue Wave from getting those second chance opportunities. Another long pass there from Maxim. He's been kind of overthrowing the defenders here for the Blue Wave. Maxim to Phillips. Passes it back to Maxim. 12 seconds heading into 10. Under 10 on the shot clock here. Pilat now going to try to make something here. He does. He posts in, and what a great job there by Pilat. And it's now 36-42, 6-point lead here for the Blue Wave.
A couple of real strong baskets by Pilat in this first half.
Again, you kind of really here need
the rebound.
Rebounded again, another opportunity, and that shot will be contested, but a foul called. 24 called with the foul. That's Pilat on the foul there. His first of the night, and that will bring Garage to the line here to shoot for 2. Again, these second chance efforts have really been the demise here so far for the Bobcats. They've had so many opportunities. The Blue Wave have had so many opportunities, I should say, here offensively, and they've been able to get these second chance opportunities, even third chances as well, and been able to succeed on them as well.
It's almost like they've had 3 times the amount of possessions as the Bobcats as well, those offensive rebounds.
(36-43) after 1 for 2 for Garage at the free-point line. Mid-range jumper from Pilat, that's good, and now that will make it a 38-43 lead. Bobcats now within 5. Still very manageable here, Bob. Again, another basket from the Bobcats could make this at least a 3-point game. So the Bobcats aren't out of it here. They still have a shot here to obviously get back their lead before the half. Foul is going to be on TJ King. And And the Bobcats are now in the bonus, so they will allow the Blue Wave to get 2 free throws for Ginyard. Ginyard 40% at the line this season so far for the Bobcats. He shot there, no good from Ginyard, and that will...
Yep. Good job by Poulat establishing himself underneath the basket, picked up the foul there.
Absolutely.
Bobcats are going to have to be a little bit more aggressive on those boards, especially down here, not give the Blue Wave those second and third chances.
Bob, I think if you're the Bobcats here, I think if you head into the half within a possession, I think you'll be very happy heading into the half. I know there's some things that may need to get worked on here a little bit heading into the half and tooled a little bit, but definitely you'd be happy, I think, as long as you're within 3 or 2 points, I think you'll definitely be happy.
I would even say within 5 points.
Absolutely.
Given the runs the Blue Wave have gone on, and maybe you can solve the offensive rebounds situation that they're giving the Blue Wave at halftime.
I think the size differential, Bob, plays a huge factor. You got guys on this team who are 6'6", 6'5", 6'4", 6'3", guys who are, definitely have the size advantage over the Bobcats, so I definitely think that definitely does play a factor.
Yep, just got to get better position like Poulat did on that last rebound.
Maxim able to make his second chance opportunity. So 39-43, both teams now in the bonus. So neither team really has the advantage there in that department, but you obviously don't want to foul. Either team wants to foul here with the last minute and 30 here in the first half. Shot is off from Fletcher. Fletcher not able to get it, and that will be a rebound for the Bobcats. So Bobcats now retain possession. 4-point lead here for the Blue Wave. Wow, great block by Jordan Smith. The Bobcats able to retain, though. Maxim from 3 off the backboard. TJ King now able to get an offensive rebound. The Bobcats are rebounding it a little bit here. Maxim going to try to push his way through, not able to. It will be Bobcats basketball still, but the offensive rebounds now going for the Bobcats here a little bit.
11 on the shot clock, going to have to get something off fairly quick here.
Alex McCray will check back into the game. He's had a pretty solid night tonight for the Blue Wave. Poulat dishes out to Phillips. Phillips from 3, almost off the rim. Now we're under a minute to play here in the first half. McCray, and McCray steps out. So McCray will turn it over on his push to the rim there, his push to the basket, and that'll give the Bobcats an opportunity here. With, again, under a minute to play, 50 seconds we are at now here in the first half of action. It's been a fun one and a close one at that. King gonna try to go around, not able to though, however. It gets stopped in his tracks. McCray, nice layup, and a shot is good. Makes it 45-39. The pace has picked up drastically. Bobcats trying to get some last minute points here. Poulat able to get it on the second chance effort, and just like that, 41-45. Timeout for the Blue Wave, and the Bobcats are within 4.
Good job by Poulat getting the putback.
And this is what I said, Bob, earlier, is that the pace is definitely going to change heading into this first or the end of the first half with that last minute. I think both teams have that urgency of trying to get these last points, especially for what the lead is. I mean, it's still a very manageable lead for PHSC.
Yeah, remember the game started off as, a 7-0 run for the Blue Wave. So if you're the Bobcats, for the score to be 45-41 right now, 4-point differential, that's you'll take that going into halftime.
Could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. And again, I think there's some good things that the Bobcats have done. I think they've been, again, we mentioned they've been very good around the arc. They've been getting better defensively, it seems like, here in this game. So there's definitely a lot of positives that you can hang your hat on here if you're the Bobcats heading into the half and heading into the locker room.
Yeah, and then it'll be a matter of what team makes some adjustments, right, coming out for the second half. And we expect the pace of play to stay pretty high for the second half.
Absolutely.
Should be a good finish.
Absolutely.
Still got 24.1. I'm sure the Blue Wave might be playing for that. Well, they play up-tempo. Yeah. I almost have a hard time saying they might play for the last shot.
I think they will, Bob. I don't see why. Again, you got 24.1 seconds left, no shot clock. You got the shot clock advantage. You definitely don't want to give the Bobcats another opportunity to score and potentially make this a one-possession game. I think if you're the Blue Wave, you definitely want to at least keep it in-house, if you will, offensively. And I think they're going to definitely try to at least get the clock manageable where they can still get a shot off. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting. We'll see. We'll see what they end up deciding to do. Is right now the Blue Wave kind of early on, not really being too aggressive. Passes it out. Ginyard, wide open three from McCray. That's off the rim, and the Bobcats recover. One last heave, and that's going to go nowhere near the basket. And the Bobcats looking to try to get one last gasp of air there in the first half, but it's still only a 4-point game here, and what was a kind of an interesting end to the first half there with that last possession, but nevertheless, Blue Wave heading into the half with the 4-point advantage. Bob, again, it's been a good first half. It's been exciting. It's been fun, and we will be back here in a little bit for the second half of action and getting you all the coverage that you need for what should be a really good finish for the first conference game of the season.
Yeah, we'll see everybody in about 15 minutes.
And we're back here in Newport Richey, Florida for the second half of action between the Blue Wave and the Bobcats. Again, Dylan Spalding with you with my broadcast partner, Bob Bade. And, Bob, we are getting geared up here for the second half of action and a 4-point lead here for the Blue Wave in what has been a very exciting matchup. Both teams came into this game, wanting to win their first game of the conference season. And, the Blue Wave were able to take an early lead, 7-0 lead. We're kind of charged into it here heading into the first half, or the early parts of the first half of the game. And then now we head into the second half of the game. Bobcats are right in the thick of things here. They were able to get back and kind of keep things close, and it's really kind of been that way throughout the entirety of this game. Yeah,
opening conference game, and hopefully we're in store for as good of a second half as we had a first half. Should be great.
TJ King will be out here in the starting five heading in out of the halftime break, including Tyson Maxim. Also out there on the floor is going to be number 1, that is Xavier Gordon-Summers. Basically the starting five is the same for the Bobcats heading out of the halftime break.
7 on the shot clock, got to get something off here.
McCray tries to push in, and it'll be a foul, and that will be on the Bobcats. Their first of the second half of action. Gardner passes it over to McCray, but that will be a foul on number 1, Gordon Summers. So another inbound pass forthcoming here for the Blue Wave. The second foul already for the Bobcats here in the second half of action. Ginyard just out to McCray. McCray passes, 3-point jumper opportunity. That will be off the rim, and that'll be a foul on number 32 there for the Blue Wave. That's Roderick Gardiner, who was charged with the foul. And that will give the Bobcats a first possession of the evening. Or second possession, excuse me, of the evening. Here in the second half. Summers out to Foreman. Foreman to Maxim. Maxim from 3 off the back of the rim, no good. Bobcats so able to get the second chance opportunity here off the rebound. Summers again off the rim, no good. Bobcats lose possession. Blue Wave recover. No scoring yet so far here through a minute and a half. Neither team has been able to get the offensive scoring started. It's been good defense so far between both squads, Bob.
Yeah, good defense. Bobcats trying to play a little stronger here on the boards.
Shot off the rim, no good. Bobcats regain possession.
Saw Gordon Summers there pick up the foul last possession because he established his ground.
5 on 4 for a second. Maxim has the opportunity. Shot from Poulat off the backboard, no good. That will keep things scoreless here in the second half. No team has scored yet here through 2 minutes of this second half. McCray trying to break that. That will go in, and finally the first points are scored. And just like that, there will be a timeout called.
Yeah, both teams came out cold here in terms of shooting, Dylan.
Yeah, the Blue Wave will score there on the timeout.
Took them 2 minutes and 15 seconds for a basket here in the second half.
Yeah, Bob, I mean, yeah, it's been kind of an interesting start to the second half. Neither team has really been able to get the offense going here early, but defensively, both teams have played well. They've been solid here at the beginning of the second half, and we'll see. Maybe now that the Blue Wave have their first points of the half, maybe this will start things here offensively for the team, I should say.
Yeah, we had some hot shooting in the first half, especially from three-point land for the Bobcats. And you got to feel like if the Bobcats are going to be in this till the end, going to have to hit a few more big three-pointers at some point.
So PHSC will have the ball here heading out of the timeout. This will be the second timeout taken by the Blue Wave. Still 4 taken, or still 4 remaining, I should say, for PHSC. King back to Poulat. Poulat and King back and forth. King once again over to Gordon Summers. Xavier Gordon Summers trying to push in. King now with the ball. He dishes it out to Palat. Palat dishes out to Foreman. Foreman over to Maxim. A lot of great ball movement here. They're trying to catch the Blue Wave off guard, trying to keep them on their toes. Summers trying to get that one in, but not able to get a good shot off. He's not too pleased about it. And the Blue Wave regained. Ginyard, what a shot by Ginyard. Physical play there and had to drive into the lane to make that shot. 8-point lead here for PHSC. Out to Maxim. Maxim from long range off the rim. That will go out of bounds. The Blue Wave will regain possession. McCray dishes it into Fletcher. 49-41's your score. The Bobcats have yet to score since coming out of the half.
Good defense.
Oh, that's gonna, almost went out of bounds here right in front of us. McCray passes it in to the post, not able to. That's gonna go out of bounds, however, on Foreman. So just like that, that will give the Blue Wave the ball back again.
I think the Bobcats are arguing there was no possession change, so the shot clock should have run out. And now the referees say he did have possession before it went off his leg.
Reach will check into the game here for the Blue Wave. Taplin trying to do it all himself. He will draw the foul there. Taplin's been able to draw the foul very good here tonight, or very successfully here this evening. Foul was called on number 1, Xavier Gordon Summers there, his third already here. Darius Miles awaiting to check in. And Miles will come in for, it looks like for Gordon Summers here. So the fouls played a factor into the change, and that'll bring in Miles here for the Bobcats. Shot. Foul was on the Blue Wave there on the early movement there off after the free throw shot.
Yeah, got to stay in there.
So Bobcats fortunately able to only allow one free throw made there. Miles
really need a basket
to
here.
King. King able to get the first point. So it took 3 minutes and about 45 seconds to get the first shot off, but nevertheless, the Bobcats get within 7.
Big basket there for King. See if we can have a good defensive series here.
Remember the last time, Bob, the Blue Wave went on a run, the first shot that was off was TJ King. So maybe that is a sign of things to come here in the second half. Shot is up. That is good by Raheem Taplin, who has been very successful tonight. He's had a lot of opportunities at the free throw line this evening. 3 ball from Foreman. Foreman off the back of the rim. That will go out of bounds, and that will be Blue Wave possession. 9-point Blue Wave lead. Neither team has had a double-digit lead. The Blue Wave have a chance to try to change that here with this current possession. I think, Bob, the big thing is you don't want to get the Blue Wave holding a 10-possession lead, or a 10-point lead or bigger, I would say, because then you really got to start, thinking of long-term in terms of the game itself. And that shot's good. I believe they're not going to count that. I'm not sure if they're going to count that shot or not. Oh, yes, they will. Okay, so the shot will count. I was going to say, I thought that would got off in time. The score had not changed yet, so it is going to be an 11-point lead here for the for the Blue Wave, and now the Bobcats will take a timeout. So the second half, Bob, has not been the favorable half here so far for the Bobcats. Only 2 points scored through 5 minutes of action, and it just seems like the Blue Wave have been able to really play into their pace, play into their tempo, play into their style, and they've done a good job here scoring and also defensively as well. It's been an overall solid performance here in the second half for the Blue Wave.
Yeah, Bobcats are going to have to pick up some buckets and try to cut this lead down, Dylan, if they're going to be in it at the end. Plenty of time left, though, 14:51.
Yeah.
So if the Bobcats can find some rhythm on offense, hit some shots, they're going to need to play a little bit better on the defensive side, though, and not let the Blue Wave get down deep underneath the basket. Too many easy baskets for the Blue Wave.
Absolutely.
Some of those possessions, you got to at least force a deeper shot and hope for some rebounds.
I think the one thing that both teams have done a really good job at, Bob, is their passing, is moving the ball around and really finding the open man around the court. And both teams have done a great job. The Blue Wave especially have done a really good job. They've had a lot of wide open looks just like that. There's another wide open look here for the Bobcats. Again, both teams have had their fair share of wide open opportunities, and really both have capitalized on it. And I think that's going to be the big key going forward, is which team, can keep up with each other. And I think that's going to be the really big thing. I know it sounds kind of corny a little bit, but really it's going to be a matter of which team can keep up with the other and which one can kind of play into their system a little bit. So another foul here for number 24, Nicholas Poulat. Taplin again at the free throw line. This is like his fourth chance, I believe, Bob, if I'm not mistaken. Taplin has been at the free throw line. Taplin for his second chance effort. He does make it, so he's 1 for 2 in his 2 opportunities there from the line. So 43-55 your score, 12-point lead here for PHSC. And again, the opener of conference play. Bobcats are in the conference with the Blue Wave, with Florida Gateway and Palm Beach State College. Palm Beach State and Florida Gateway were the 2 teams last year that were in the conference. The Blue Wave, the newest addition to the conference this year. Ginyard passes it out over to Taplin. McCray now has it. McCray dishes it out to Taplin. Taplin from 3. Taplin not able to get it. Now a tussle for the ball, and neither team able to get it. A jump ball called, but it will be the Blue Waves' possession. They stick with the ball.
Bobcats doing a better job fighting for the basketball, Dylan. That'll go to the Blue Wave on the possession arrow. But you like to see the Bobcats playing a little bit more aggressive on the boards.
So media timeout here for the both teams here, as we are about 14 minutes, or not 14 minutes, we got 14 minutes left, I should say, in this game. But Bob, yeah, it's been really a tale of 2 halves here to start for the Bobcats. Really doesn't feel like there's a ton of offensive urgency for the Bobcats. It just doesn't feel like there hasn't been many really shots gone off really in good favor for them. It's kind of been a not the most amazing start for the team here early on.
Yeah, they've missed a few open shots here in the second half, and the Blue Wave can afford that because they're getting more offensive rebounds. For the Bobcats, when you're off the mark, really not getting those second and third chances. So when you miss them, it seems like you're in a real big lull.
Yeah, in a bit of a rut, yeah.
Yeah, you get in a rut because it's been 2 or 3 possessions, you don't make a basket, and next thing you know, it's a 12-point lead for the Blue Wave.
6 minutes, Bob, and again, only 2 points have been scored the entire. It was off that TJ King shot earlier on, about 15 minutes was about the point here in the game where that shot came off, I should say. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the Bobcats do coming out of this timeout. Again, this is a good chance for them to talk things over and maybe regroup a little bit here. So we'll see if the momentum can shift here for the Bobcats in their favor. Fouls on 14 there. Darius Miles pushed off there a little bit on number 2, Raheem Taplin. So they get him on the foul. 4 fouls already here for the Bobcats, and that's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on as well, Bob. And obviously that's something you don't want to do if you're the Bobcats, is get up into foul trouble this early into the second half. Fletcher dishes it in. Not able to keep a hold of it. However, the Bobcats do foul. So Miles again, his second straight foul already. Now 5 fouls here for the Bobcats, and they are getting into foul trouble quickly. Fletcher had to overthrow it across beyond the court there. Gardner trying to make a shot there. Second chance opportunity. Taplin able to make it in. That's good. 57-43 is your score. Bobcats looking for something to go their way offensively. Pass into the paint for Miles. Miles able to draw the foul, and maybe this will be the chance for the Bobcats here to get the scoring going a little bit at the line. Darius Miles is 75% from the free throw line. First shot is in, and that's good. Miles is one of the top free throw shooters on this team, Bob. He is second on the team.
Hey, if not, go Pig.
That shot's good. So Miles able to make both of them. Pretty solid free throw shooter for this Bobcat squad, and maybe that is what you needed. You maybe needed to get some shots in, even if it's through the free throw opportunity. I mean, you'll take anything you get if you're up, down by 12 right now. This is kind of where you might need to get any points you possibly can. Second chance effort again for the Blue Wave. Nowhere to be found there. And Bobcats will regain possession. Maxim over to Miles. Miles charges in. Foul on the Blue Wave.
Ooh, I don't know if they're counting that basket there, Dylan.
So foul will be on number 32, Roderick Gardner, the second foul straight that he's had.
Yeah, I don't think they counted the basket. They're going to say before
No.
the shot.
Foreman over to Phillips. Phillips over to Maxim. Maxim over to Foreman again. Foreman over to Palat. Maxim again. Palat, great
Nice,
dish
good
out
to
to
go.
Palat. Palat kind of broke away and was able to drive to the paint or drive to the rim, and what a great job there by Palat, able to get open. Again, great passing by the Bobcats there and able to take advantage. 10-point game now here for the Bobcats. Palat now rebounds it.
Good
Bobcats
job.
looking to try to get back here.
Yeah, Poulat last couple of possessions, Dylan, coming up with a rebound.
Almost another opportunity there to connect from Maxim to Poulat. That will be a foul there on the Bobcats. I believe that's going to be on Maxim there is going to be the foul. So that will bring McCray to the line to shoot for two. First shot's good. Xavier Gordon-Summers will check back into the game here for Darius Miles, as Miles will stay in the game.
Yeah, I thought Miles might come out, Dylan. He picked up a couple of quick fouls in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be Chris Foreman that's going to be the one who checked out of the game here for the Bobcats. So Miles will stay in, and that will now bring in a new sub for the Blue Wave. Gary Anderson will be back out here on the floor, the freshman. There's Miles wide open from three. Opportunity, that's good. Big shot there for Miles, and the Bobcats are under 10 points in the deficit column. That was a huge three-point shot there, and for a guy that hasn't got much playing time this year, only 7 games played for Darius Miles, this being his 8th. Great opportunity there and a great shot by Miles. Jordan Smith, second chance effort, no good. A lot of defense there from the Bobcats, but a foul called. It's going to be on number 24, Nicholas Poulat there calling the foul, and that will bring now to Gary Anderson to the line to shoot for two, his first opportunity from the line here tonight. Calvin Brown will now check into the game for his first appearance of the night. Some different names coming into the game now here for the Blue Wave. Shot off the back of the rim, no good. Almost could have been a rebound there for the Blue Wave, but Bobcats able to regain possession. The Blue Wave are in the bonus, so any foul now committed will be 2 free throws unless it's a reach-in type foul. Oh, man. Maxim and Poulat tried to make the block there on the shot, but not able to, and now it is 62-50. 12-point lead here for the Blue Wave with a little over 11 minutes to play here in the second half. Maxim trying to get everybody into position here, trying to get something going offensively. Shot off by Phillips, now able to get that one in, and just like that, it's going to keep it a 12-point lead. 3-point shot from long range, off the rim, no good. Phillips over to Maxim. Maxim trying to make a move, not able to, and it's going to stay 12 points still for the Blue Wave. Shot up by Fletcher, that's going to be good. 64-50 now, and now a long-range pass. That was trouble. It's going to be interesting to see what the call is, and it will be Bobcats ball. See some subs here for the Blue Wave and the Bobcats. Both number 5 coming into the game. McCray and King coming in here for PHSC and for the Blue Wave. Bob, I don't want to say the Bobcats are being a little desperate here, but they are definitely trying to be maybe a little bit more aggressive than they have been offensively. And when you're down by 14, a pretty sizable lead here, you definitely want to get points quick, and they're trying anything they can to get something rolling offensively. Now it's a 16-point game, and also having the bonus here with 10 to play, definitely not favorable if you're the Bobcats here.
Yeah, needed a timeout there, Dylan, for the Bobcats. Like you said, they're reeling a little bit because they're not hitting their shots, and then the Blue Wave are coming down and hitting theirs.
So 16 points is your score and your lead here for the Blue Wave. 66-50 is right now the score here as we are about halfway through the second half of action. Again, the Blue Wave have really dominated here in the second half. They're playing defensively a lot better. Offensively, they're still getting those second chance efforts and really succeeding on them as well. It's been really an impressive game for the Blue Wave, and for the Bobcats, you know, again, they just haven't been able to get things rolling like they did early on in the first half, where they were kind of able to come back and get back from that deficit early. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Bobcats are able to respond, and they're going to have to respond very quickly, especially with time really not on their side, so to say.
Yeah, Bobcats need a basket. It's been a little bit of a run here for the Blue Wave. I think the Blue Wave came out in the second half and decided to go down low and get some easy looks, some easy baskets, and it's really paid off. And then if you're the Bobcats, of course, they try to hit a few three-pointers there last couple of possessions, and when you don't come up with those and then you're letting those shots down underneath the basket on the other end, it can turn into a big run, and that's what happened.
Definitely seems like the Blue Wave are definitely right now at this point more confident than right now the Bobcats. And again, it's hard to just based off of, you know, kind of expressions and stuff. It seems like the Bobcats, again, they want to get out of this jam. They want to get out of this funk that they've had really all season. And they you know, hoping that they can do that here again tonight. They still have time. 10 minutes is still a lot of time in basketball. They could easily make the comeback possibly here tonight, and that is another good way to get it started. TJ King on the two-pointer as Bobcats look to try to get things going here with 10 to play.
A couple of times the Bobcats have needed a basket, and TJ King answered the bell.
Yeah, he's kind of been almost a saving grace, if you will, here in terms of getting the offense rolling a little bit, but that doesn't help with the three ball from Ginyard, who has had an impressive night tonight. And that shot is off. The rebound here from the Blue Wave. So the TJ King two-pointer really is nullified by the three-pointer that was from Ginyard. That's going to be off the rim, no good from three-point range. Bobcats, great pass there from Maxim to Poulat, and Poulat and Maxim have been connecting offensively. Great passing from both Maxim and Poulat there. It's been the tandem to watch here tonight, Bob. They made some great passes, or at least for Maxim, he's made some great passes to Poulat, able to find the open man in the lane, and it's really been well for this team.
Yeah, there's been some good moments for the Bobcats tonight, Dylan.
Violation there on the Blue Wave, so that's going to give the Bobcats the ball here, and 69-54, and we'll see if there's a chance here for the Bobcats to try to get back in this game. Again, 9 minutes left to play. It's still time on the clock for the Bobcats to get back, but they're going to have to really play heavily defensively. Great shot by TJ King, so 56-69, so don't count out the Bobcats just yet here. It's now a 13-point lead for the Blue Wave. The big thing is, Bob, they just can't afford, one, to foul, and number two, they can't afford for these extra opportunities. That goes in, so now the Bobcats will regain, but again, adding to the lead is the Blue Wave. 71-56 is your score. Maxim, hand in the face, still makes a shot, or still shoots it off, I should say, and not able to make it. Jordan Smith from 3. That shot is good, but the foul on the Blue Wave fortunately takes that 3 ball away. And that could have been trouble there, Bob. If that would have gone in and there was no foul there, that could have been really a big shot there for the Blue Wave. Could have almost made it a 20-point game here for the Blue Wave.
Yeah, it saved 3 points right there.
Lot to Maxim. Bobcats trying to get back into this ball game here. They are down by 15 at the moment. Shot off the rim and off the backboard. It's going to go out of play, but the Bobcats lose possession, however. The Blue Wave now will have possession. Trying to get all the foul numbers correct here. 4 fouls here for the Blue Wave, 7 for the Bobcats. Again, Bobcats are in, or Blue Wave are in the bonus, so they have an opportunity for free throws if the Bobcats were to foul. Fortunately, they haven't fouled since their most recent, which was a few minutes ago, I should say. Trent Phillips able to rebound it. Phillips over to Maxim. Maxim back to Phillips. Phillips over to Foreman. Foreman now. Foreman loses possession. One-on-one now here for Fletcher. Fletcher bumps in. Charge, however, and the Bobcats will regain possession on the charging foul called on Fletcher. So a big opportunity here now for the Bobcats to regain possession. That was huge there, Bob. That's a big charging call there on that play. One-on-one there on the play, and Trent Phillips, they said apparently he was set when he was under the rim, so they gave him the foul. Maxim trying to do something, not able to, loses possession. Blue Wave now trying to take advantage of a flustered Bobcats team. Shots off, in and out, no good. Bobcats not able to rebound. They give the Blue Wave an extra chance and they score. It's now 73-56 here in this one. It is a 17-point Blue Wave lead. Maxim dishes out to Palat. Palat blocked, and that will give the Blue Wave possession again. 4-on-1. TJ King not able to make a clean block there, and he'll be charged with the foul, but there was really nothing good there, Bob, with that. 4-on-1 heading down the court there for the Blue Wave, and the second foul there for TJ King. He will be charged, and obviously that will put them at the line for the Blue Wave with Fletcher here for 2 shots.
Yeah, almost the only thing TJ could do is the foul there. At least he didn't give up the easy bucket.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Blue Wave had 4 guys already down at the end of the court, and they could have really done anything with that if they wanted to. They could have gone even for a 3-point shot if they wanted to dish it out and try to get a quick shot off there, but they took the foul, and fortunately enough, the Bobcats were able to regain there on the rebound after the missed free throw by Fletcher there on the last free throw. Timeout called by Nick O'Neill. So 6:49 here left to play, and the Bobcats just have not had anything go their way here in the second half. It is right now a 18-point lead here for the Blue Wave, and I mean, I don't want to say it, Bob, but the Bobcats just have not been able to regain their momentum that they had back in the first half of action, where really things were pretty tight. I mean, both teams were playing relatively even, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
It's been it was a 4-point lead at halftime, Dylan, and like you said, 18 points now, so you got to feel like the Blue Wave made adjustments that have worked, and Bobcats still trying to figure things out here. Yeah,
and with time really dwindling here now, it's, Bobcats are going to have to really be aggressive, and they might have to take some chances here, and obviously you don't want to take chances, but when you get into this situation, you kind of have to take chances, and that's really what the Bobcats are coming down to at this point. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Bobcats' game plan is going to be here heading into the last about 6.5 minutes here left to play.
Yeah, if you can't hit some big shots, an 18-point lead can get even bigger.
Yeah.
because like you said, they're probably going to try to kick it out, get some open looks for some three-pointers, but if you don't hit those, it's going to come back down the other way.
And that's the big thing. You don't want to let the Blue Wave score either. You know, even if you're getting the three-point shots off, you don't need the Blue Wave to be scoring as well a lot either. So, you know, you're going to have to also step up defensively as well. So it's going to be really big, these next few possessions, to kind of write the narrative of what's going to happen here going forward. Then that's going to be turned over by the Bobcats. Easy layup, and just like that, it is now a 20-point lead for the Blue Wave. So the opposite of what the Bobcats wanted to have to begin their first possession out of the half, or out of the timeout, excuse me. Palat, Foreman, I believe it, not mistaken, it looks like that was Gary Anderson who grabbed the jersey there. Push off the screen there, according to the referee. So, be the first foul for Gary Anderson of the night. Trent Phillips will be checking out of the game for Xavier Gordon-Summers, who will be checking in. So it's now a 20-point lead after the timeout from the Bobcats. Again, just need something offensively to go their way here. Summers, 2-ball, that's good. It's now 58-76 now. Big thing is, if you're the Blue Wave, you're just wanting to chew clock at this point, Bob. I mean, I know it is still relatively early, but if you can control clock and kind of time manage, if you will, you may give a great chance for the Blue Wave to really put things out of hands for the Bobcats. They may not have enough time if they really chew clock. 3-ball, that's good, and that is not what you wanted if you're the Bobcats. It is now a 21-point lead, so the lead extends even further here for the Blue Wave.
Can't exchange two-pointers for three-pointers.
No.
Not going to make up any difference on that.
Chris Foreman shot is up, no good. And the Blue Wave regains possession. Fletcher, shot is up. That is going to be foul, I believe, on the Bobcats. With me on Foreman, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, Foreman will be charged with the foul, so that will bring Fletcher up to the line to shoot for 2.
Make sure Foreman's okay there. He took a hard hit.
Yeah, that was a very hard hit there. So I'll check in Darius Miles, and also will be checking in Jordan Smith into the game. Foreman will check out after the hard hit there. Hopefully he's okay. 58-80 is your score here. It is now a 22-point lead for the Blue Wave, making now 23. And the Blue Wave are cruising right now here in the second half. 5 minutes here left to play. And what has been all Blue Wave here in the second half, it has been a completely different half here for the Bobcats. Summers puts one up, that's good, and gets it back within 21. Bob, I don't want to say it just seems like the Bobcats have been out of it, if you will, offensively. It just doesn't seem like, again, their confidence isn't up. Here's an opportunity, though, however. Great dish out to Palat. Again, the Palat-Maxim exchange has been one of the hot hands still here. 19 points is the deficit. Blue Wave rebound. It's now 4-on-2 here. Bobcats defense able to kind of keep things from happening offensively. However, it will be a foul on the Bobcats. So Blue Wave will head to the line to shoot for 2. Follows on number 24, Nicholas Poulat. Gary Anderson will head to the line to shoot for 2 for his second opportunity here of the game. Shots off the front of the rim. Alex McCray checks into the game, the Gainesville, Florida native. Shots up, and that's good. So 62-82, 20-point lead now is the score here from PHSC. Under 4 to play, and a game that the Bobcats just haven't found their rhythm here in the second half. Maxim from mid-range, the tip up there by King, able to get it in, now back to 18 points. Bob, the big question is it just too much too late, if you will, with the way the time is right now? Only 3:30 left to play. You would have to have for a, I don't want to say a miracle run, but it would have to definitely have for a pretty big run here if you want to get back in this game.
Yeah, I don't think the Bobcats have enough possessions, but some good things tonight. I really think TJ King's having a good night.
Yeah.
He's hit a couple of big baskets when they needed them, and
yeah, I think if the game, Bob, I think if this game was a little bit more closer in terms of the score, TJ King could have been one of the biggest heroes of the night, if you will, just with the way the score was, especially heading into out of the first half of action. I mean, TJ King was making some big shots, and he was definitely definitely leading the team offensively in regards to some of his shots that he made.
I think another bright spot, like you pointed out, Maxim and Poulat have had good chemistry.
Absolutely.
A lot of good passing, give and goes between those two.
They've been able to find each other very well. Poulat's been able to get open well and break away. So there's been some definitely positive things. I mean, again, if you look at the first half, there was a lot of positives we were talking about heading out of the first half. It's just this second half, the changes the Blue Wave made really have affected the performance for the Bobcats here, and that's kind of been the story here of this quarter, or of this half, I should say, as that will bring Gordon Summers to the line to shoot for 2 on the foul. Now both teams are in the bonus here. This is some bright shoes there that Gordon Summers is wearing, the pink and green shoelaces.
Yeah, we got the fluorescence down there. We got fluorescent yellow and green on the Blue Wave, and then the
fluorescent reds.
Yeah.
Or fluorescent pink, I should say. A lot of bright colors here in tonight's game.
Bobcats going to press here, Dylan, see if they can get a turnover.
Taking a look at what's to come here for the Bobcats following tonight's game. They will be back home on Saturday, taking on Florida Gateway in their second conference matchup of the season. Following that, they'll see a Monday, game on, or 6 o'clock Monday game against Trinity College at 6 o'clock on the 22nd. So got a couple home games here coming up for the Bobcats following tonight, and then they hit the road for 3 games, seeing Palm Beach State, Florida State College at Jacksonville, and Florida Gateway before returning home in February for the final month of the season to take on Palm Beach State College, and then a few other road games as well added in to the schedule. So season's getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Again, once you get into conference play, this is kind of the heart and soul, if you will, of the schedule. And you got one more non-conference game before you really get into the thick of things with Trinity College. And we obviously know how good Trinity College is in their program, the team that's played some D1 competition actually this year, Bob.
Yeah, both teams had enough games under their belts since the season started, though, Dylan. So you got to feel like they know what they got going into conference play.
Absolutely. Definitely think that Trinity College game, though, will definitely mean something. Obviously, the Bobcats, all these games have meant something to them, and you obviously want to win and get back to the winning ways, if you will. But for Trinity College, I mean, that game, it's right before really the thick of things in conference play. So
should have a good crowd, too, for Trinity College. You always do.
Yep.
It's always nice to play them.
It's kind of a local battle, if you will, between both squads. Shots good. 85-66. So a pretty busy schedule here for the Bobcats here to come in January and obviously in February, and then once that hits, you'll get into conference play, trying to be fancy with it there with the dunk. Shots off again from 3 range. Bobcats regain possession, and 2:30 left to play here in the second half of action. 85-66 your score here from Newport Richie. Again, the Bobcats down here in this ball game by 19. Foul's going to be on number 1, Terrence Ginyard. Foul number 1 as well there on that play, Xavier Gordon Summers. So he'll head to the line to shoot for 2. First shot off. Foul's going to be on number 2. That's going to be Raheem Taplin. So Taplin will be charged with the foul. Taplin checks out of the game. That brings TJ King to the line now. So another chance from the line, Bob. Redo it again.
Yeah, it's been good to broadcast with you tonight, Dylan.
Absolutely. Our return back to the booth, if you will, the full posse. I know you you broadcasted the Rad Sports game last week.
I did. I struggled a little bit. I wasn't feeling 100%, and I didn't have you by my side. It's always nice to have you doing the play-by-play.
Absolutely, and hopefully we will bring some more coverage before the season ends. Obviously, we got baseball here coming up as well. Hopefully, we'll do a few games together as well during the baseball season.
And softball. We should pick a softball game out. We got lights on our softball field now.
Beautiful lights, by the way. It's going to be really exciting to see the new lights.
Might be a little bit easier to get out there and do a game.
First shot is up. That's good. Fouls on Darius Miles, his third of the night. 10 fouls for the Bobcats, 9 for the Blue Wave. Fouls have definitely been a preference here so far in this game.
It's been an aggressive game. Both teams, they've not shied away from contact. I'll say that.
Smith from 3. And the second chance effort again. No good, though, however. And the Bobcats will regain possession. So minute and a half left here to go in the second half of action. Again, the Bobcats will fall here to the Blue Wave tonight. And obviously the score has yet to be decided yet. But with the lead the way it is, obviously the Bobcats will fall here in the game here tonight. Number 1, Terrence Ginyard fouled there on the play. 5 fouls for Ginyard. So he checks out of the game. Fortunately enough, the score is so massive that really, at this point in the game, really it does not a huge difference, obviously.
Paul, what are you doing up there?
Maxim's shot is off the rim, no good. So, Bob, hopefully we'll be back here soon for another broadcast here in the near future. Hopefully be back here in the gym for another 1 or 2 more broadcasts here this season. Obviously, with the season dwindling down in terms of games, it's going to be interesting to see where the Bobcats are at here by the end of the season, especially by the end of conference play.
Yeah, Bobcats in a position where you just want to try to build on some things. We mentioned they did a few good things tonight. Thought their passing was a lot better from last week when they played the Rad Sports Academy. It seemed like every possession they were turning it over on a bad pass, and I thought their passing was a lot crisper tonight. Obviously, they got outplayed on the boards, maybe a little bit of a size, advantage for Blue Wave. But they hit shots early. They stayed in the game by getting hot early and hitting some timely shots, but you could tell the Blue Wave made some adjustments at halftime. And the Bobcats really didn't have an answer for that in the second half.
Yeah, and I think if you take a look at that first half of action again, that kind of will be the big half to take a look at, as TJ King able to get the steal, and Maxim now arrives in. Foul called on the play. I think if you look at the first half of action, there's a lot of positives you could take away from it, but again, I think the second half definitely was a change of pace. The Blue Wave have controlled the entire second half, and give credit to them. I mean, they just played better. I mean, it's kind of overall what you can only say is just they played better overall basketball on defense and on offense. So
I want to thank Tyler in our broadcast booth. He's always great hooking up our equipment, making sure we sound good, look good. So thanks to Tyler over there in our production booth.
Staff, And also want to thank our friend Josh here as well for jumping on with us.
Josh helping us out here. He's always scouting things. And then we want to thank all the fans that tuned in from both sides, Blue Wave and the Bobcats. Always good to have both teams represented on our broadcast.
Josh is like our he's like our sideline reporter, you know how they have the referees and stuff, the former ex-referees usually sometimes. He's one of our extra hands that we have here in the broadcast booth, or the broadcast table in this aspect. So always good to have him here for the broadcast. So 87-69 is your score here as we approach the minute marker, and we are under a minute to play here from Newport Richey. Again, the Bobcats and the Blue Wave looking to just close things out here, keep everybody healthy, and Blue Wave will run down court here to try to close the game. Still one more possession here potentially for PHSC. Battle tussle for the basketball here. Ball is going to go out of bounds, but the Blue Wave retain possession. PHSC will look towards Saturday in their contest against Florida Gateway College, before heading back on Monday to take on Trinity College and the Tigers in their January 22nd evening showdown. We're getting back into full conference play. Shot blocked, Bobcats regain, and this will be another possession here for PHSC. Shot is in for Gordon Summers, and the Blue Wave will let the clock wind down. So the Blue Wave hold on here to their lead, 16-point lead to close out the night, and the Bobcats aren't able to come up victorious here in their opener in conference play. 87-71 your final score here from Newport Richey here tonight. The Bobcats play very well here in the first half, just not able to get things going in the second half of action as the Blue Wave takes their conference opener in a new conference as well. So, Bob, great night here tonight overall. What a fun game this was. Again, very action-packed, saw a lot of back and forth, especially early on in this game. But it'll be very interesting to see how the Bobcats go moving forward with conference play. Again, it's only one loss. Fortunately, there's a lot of conference games left. There's a lot of play left to have, and there's still a chance that we could see the Bobcats turn things around here. But again, just things did not go their way late here in this game, and we'll see how things shape out here going forward.
Yeah, Bobcats, you know, every day's a new day. So you put together your best game and pick up a win, and you could feel a whole lot different about yourself.
Absolutely. So as for myself, Dylan Spalding, as for Bob Bade, we appreciate everyone tuning in here tonight for our broadcast. We hope that we will see you at some point down the road for one of our other many different sports that we broadcast here at PHSC. Again, have a safe night, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy your weekend. We will see you next time. Again, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. See you later. Miles
really need a basket
to
here.
King. King
Nice.
able to get the first point. Maxim over to Miles. Miles charges in. Foul on the Blue Wave.
Ooh,
Maxim over to Foreman again. Foreman over to Palat. Maxim again. Palat, great
nice,
dish out to Palat. Be back out here on the floor. The freshman. There's Miles wide open from three. Opportunity, that's good. Big shot there for Miles. And they could easily make the comeback possibly here tonight. And that is another, but they're going to have to really play heavily defensively. Great shot by TJ King to go their way here. Summers, two ball, that's good. Rhythm here in the second half. Maxim from mid-range. The tip up there by conference play. Shot blocked. Bobcats regain, and this will be another possession here for PHSC. Shot is in for Gordon Summers.